So well, this is Jonfx, producer, international producer, known a lot in the reggae world, the reggae circuit, like all the reggae remixes and a lot of those hits. You know what I mean? I've done most of those. You know what I mean? Jamaica, came to New York. We did that gun session, Shut Up, Fire, me and DJ Obsession.
Yeah, boop, boop, boop.
Bop, 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 that record. Go Obsession, FX, you know, big up, you know, we got a lot of credit for that, you know what I mean? So we did the gun session, and then we did like, you know, Ruben Studdard from American Idol, when you just won, we did the reggae remix. Then we did E-Man, this guy, F-Why that said, we did that. We did Chris Brown, we did Alicia Keys, a bunch of remixes, just did a bunch of Elephant Man, Beyonce. And then, you know, you have to evolve out of the remix world. So then after the remix world, you know, I came up with this Cloud9 rhythm, you know, because Shabba was hot, you know, from the Shatter 5. Yeah, so after the Shatter 5, you know, I did this Shabba Ranks, Sean Paul thing with Fiona, baby, Shabba, be that record. Girl will always flip back on my mind. Europe was the one that did that part. Then that Cloud9 rhythm came out, then the Egyptian come out on the same rhythm. We got the I Can Feel Your Pain. That was the, you know, the one that a lot of people know. Then from that now we had the Book of Life also on the same Cloud9 rhythm with I Win. The Book of Life, the Book of Life. Yeah.
Is the album in stores already?
It's a pre-order now, the new Sizzla album, and we have iMirrors that's out already on the internet, and it's like #2 on Spotify, like Sizzla most played records, and it's a nice, you know, dancehall type vibe. But on the album now, we're giving back the people the Sizzla that they like. One drop, we got Incomplete.
I heard a lot of old school influence and everything on what you had showed me today. So, but because you mentioned that, I know you want to pull up some of the tracks to the background, but because you mentioned that you were bringing back some of the old Sizzla that people say they miss or whatnot. Was this something that when I'm assuming Sizzla approached you for this album, was this something that he already came to mind telling you like, hey, this is the direction I want to go, and you know, I trust you with the vision? Or
yeah, because what happens is I'm from Caveman, big up Caveman student, Jamaica. So that's where like Sizzla, you know, got his nurtured at Caveman. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he met Fatis and the whole thing. So I'm a Caveman student basically. You know what I mean? So what happens is there's an original sound that Sizzla has. You know what I mean? And it's like, so a few of us kind of remember the sound.
I might be too young for it myself. But.
So then it's really basic, you know what I mean? Because then everybody knows Sizzla, and you know, they have different levels of Sizzla. Some people prefer that side, as we prefer that side. What happened is because we were there throughout most of the growth of it, then we know how to do the new stuff and then go right back to the original stuff. You know what I mean?
Girl, what the association natural? Sure. Sister, when you say, my girl, oh, you're pretty so photogenic and you're acting in the video. You are my demand, they in the city, so have you feel myself, my girl, then I'll let you go. Black girl, oh, you're pretty so photogenic and you're acting in the video. You are my demand, they in the city, so have you feel myself, then I'll let you go. My girl, oh, you're pretty so photogenic and you're acting in the video. You are my demand, they in the city, so have you feel myself, my girl, then I'll let you go. Black girl, oh, you're pretty so photogenic and you're acting in the video. You are my demand, they in the city, so have you feel myself, then I'll let you go. Them lips there, them eyes there, them lips there, them eyes there. Seem to be a nice person.
thing now. Where Sizzla we do now, we say, FX, send me some rhythms. You know what I mean? And I'll send him some rhythms. He's so awesome at voicing. You give him, I make a lot of tracks and different genres. And then reggae music and reggae artists, they're not really as boxed as people think. And the reason why reggae is so big worldwide is because we have a big influence of world music.
Huge.
So then I'll do jazz and I'll give him jazz, I'll give him world music, I'll give him a whole bunch of stuff and he'll voice it. Every single one.
Yeah. Shout out
You know
to
what I mean?
Sizzla for that too, because
Yeah,
I remember I heard some of his rough vocals.
Yeah.
Was that
It was that.
Was
See
that
that was the yeah. Was
My,
record
that track was
and
good.
Shoot
That
It.
track was serious.
Yeah.
That's gonna be on the album as well.
Maybe.
No spoilers for you.
I have a lot of Sizzla records, so now we have to pick which one is for a certain album. Because I have other stuff, straight gangster stuff.
I see the
You know what I mean?
momentum, and that's part of the reason why we came in today, because we wanted to do the interview and whatnot with you, because a lot of people don't get to see the creative process. They get to hear the finished product, and they don't realize how much talent and effort goes into that. And so we wanted to be able to give them a brief
into that creative part.
a brief introduction into that world and who Jonfx is. I guess this is going to be my final question right now. So what do you feel, this is kind of a broad question, but what do you feel genre-wise as well as just future plans is for
Let me carry
you?
Because I didn't even, the Sizzla, what happened with the Sizzla now, he would do the records, right? And then he'll send them back. One of the secrets is, in production now, is when I get vocals, I'm going to make the track for the vocals. You know what I mean? I'm not going to just use the track that I have, you know what I mean? Because then when someone voice a record, I'll hear a whole different thing.
That's the
and
difference
all those
with
tracks are
producing.
brand new. So I send him some tracks, and he send it back, and I make brand new tracks to fit the vocals. You know what I mean? That's where you can really paint around the voice. You know what I mean? That's like you tailoring the voice. That's exactly what it is. Like my suits are tailored. I buy them in the store, and I have to go to someone. I got to fit it to me, to my body.
Right.
And that's what I think real producing is. You fit the track to the song. So you gotta sometimes scrap what you think you have. But then sometimes it's not that the songs are bad. It's that the track doesn't mesh. They don't make love together. That's really what it is.
As an artist, I understand.
So with the Sizzla now, I recognize there's an art to it to make tracks mesh with songs. Cloud9 rhythm. Think of the Cloud9 rhythm again. Why the Egyptian stands out so much than everything else is because Egyptian sang to the guitar. He went, I can feel your pain. So he sang to the melody. So then his song tends to more than the others. You know, it's not because of anything. It's just music technique, you know what I mean? He just did that on his own, you know? So now, genre-wise, what I remember Bob Marley said something once. He said, you know, it seemed as if I could do a lot of music, because he went a step out and he did like, could it be love? That was Bob Marley's disco track, type of track. But then he said, you know, but I think Jack just want me to do one type of music, you know what I mean? And that's the stand that he took. And for people out there, it's good to find a signature, you know what I mean? Like you said, okay, this is, I know I can do a whole lot of stuff, you know what I mean? I hear artists all the time talk about, you know, listen to my album, I got EDM, I got rock and roll, I got blah, blah, blah. You're really sending your fans all over the place. It's really good to find this, your fingerprint in your music, your signature sound. You got to own it and own it and own it, because your signature sound, no one else can have your signature sound. Don't care if they sing the same songs over. The way that you delivered it on the day and the time and the weather and the studio and the temperature, it cannot be delivered that way. It may be better or worse, but it will not be the same. So now, with me moving forward genre-wise now, I recognize being a multi-genre producer, really in the full sense of the word. You know what I mean? Because I do scores also, I do classical music, you know what I mean? And then it's something where I can go to Tibet in here, and I can go to Israel, I can go anywhere musically. It's something that you have to practice, because you have to know what the culture is, you know what I mean? I remember making hip-hop, I would be in Bed-Stuy, in Brooklyn, Brownsville. I used to work at a studio called Platinum Factory. Fulton and New York, I think it was. And I mean, Billie Holiday Center, that's the center, was Wu-Tang studio. And I went there, that's when clothes were baggy and the whole Brooklyn, Black on Mile, and you gotta smell the Marcy Project to know how that kick's supposed to sound.
Oh boy.
Yeah, if you never been to those projects, you can't know how those kicks supposed to hit. You never know. When them dudes say, oh, yo, so that shit's hard. When you get that impact from them guys from the streets, then you know. You know what I mean? And I'm from Jamaica. So I had to go out to become the thing, I had to mimic, I had to become the character of that type of person who make those tracks. You know what I mean? And it's with every genre. You know what I mean? If you go to bachata, you gotta know what the spice tastes like in the food and why they dance like that. Reggae, same thing. You gotta know what the jerk chicken feel like. You know what I mean? You gotta know what sitting down and that. Go ahead.
You have to find your fingerprint.
Yeah.
One thing I can say with this album that I've heard is it definitely has it has two fingerprints on it. It has Sizzla's fingerprint, but it definitely has your whole hand on it. And I gotta say,
God.
Once again, for those of you who don't know Jonfx, if any.
Hey, pull it up one time now. Make this promise, baby, I'm yours.
When she hear me voice, she get horny. Girl, I something no say you want me. Hey, girl, give me. I'm yours. Fall in love hardcore. Every day she said that she want more. When up on the bed down the jam floor, I'm yours. Full time ride.
Now you want me, baby, I'm yours. Oh, you drive me crazy, I'm yours. Boy, when I start this whining, hey, pull it up one time then. Make this promise, baby, I'm yours.
Personal. I say I never hurt you, girl. Never ever make you cry. All every chance of the sky. I wanna touch your lovely skin. Gotta start somewhere, so let us begin. Every day I know you're more. We gotta go for sure. Full time ride. Me and the girl for that glide. She always there by my side. Full time mood. Me and the girl for that cruise. Ain't got one thing to lose. Full time day. Me and the girl for that play. Together forever, I say she full time the moment. Hey girl, my arms are open, I love you.
That's so cool.
man.
Yo,
Finish.
play that bomba clock track back. That thing.